Welcome to our very first episode for 2010, episode 48 of KinFit. I'm Michael.
I'm Tiffany. Happy New Year to everyone out there. Today we are filming at the Chinese Cultural Center. And without any further ado, for our first New Year episode, let's get on to Fit News. So what's going on in Fit News this week?
Well, the first thing I want to talk about is an update on Project Natal. Project Natal is Microsoft's version of a controller-free motion sensor peripheral, where people would move their entire body to be more interactive in a game. And at the recent CES conference in Las Vegas, they did announce a release date. It is expected to be released for the holiday season in 2010. No price has been mentioned yet. But definitely looking forward to it. And they did say that at least 70 developers are actually already in the works of designing games for the peripheral.
All right, people, it's time to start saving up for Christmas already.
Yes, it is.
All right, so on my end, Health Canada is now investigating whether to put a cancer-fighting enzyme additive into junk food. This is in response to certain types of fried food producing a byproduct, a chemical, that is carcinogenic, which is called acrylamide. So this enzyme actually breaks down acrylamide. So this is why they want to add the enzyme into junk food. But in a way, I find it's a little bit backwards, because we could just not be eating the junk food in the first place, and then we wouldn't have to worry about adding this enzyme. However, it probably may have some benefits, but they're still investigating it. It's not in the They're not actually passing it yet. They're still in the works of just finding out whether people want it to be put in and whether they should be putting it in. So we'll keep you updated on anything with that, because it's probably pretty interesting and important.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody saw the video from the CBC report, but you still can in our show notes. But I found it interesting that they actually did report at a Montreal restaurant, which is famous for their poutines.
Well, that's it's important.
Yeah. In other news, I want to talk about a page that I saw at runnersworld.com. For those who don't know about runnersworld.com, it's actually a really good site that has a lot of information for running, a lot of tips and suggestions and reviews. So if you're an avid runner, definitely something to check out. But the one thing I did want to mention on the page is a section where they suggested how you should wear when you go running outdoors. So what you should wear when you run outdoors. They have drop-down menus where you can choose the temperature in Celsius or Fahrenheit. For all those Canadians and Americans, you don't want to do that conversion. You can also choose the wind speed, the weather conditions, and what you want to feel during that run. So you can feel either cool, warm, or in between. So definitely, after you choose those weather conditions, you click on the accept or the next button, and it'll give you a list of suggestions of what you should be wearing upper body and lower body.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Very easy to use. I've tried it myself. However, I do want to mention for our Canadian friends here, because it can get quite cold. I tried it at -5 and at -30, but I did get the same recommendations. So you may want to adjust it slightly if you know it's going to be colder. You may want to add an extra layer, but it would be good for people who are really just starting out and unsure of how to start layering.
Yeah, and I actually saw some people running in a snowstorm last week in Montreal, so I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Last bit of news I want to talk about is a report that I saw on CTV News. It's actually a video that we'll have on our show notes as well, so you can view it as well. It was a consumer report on what to look for when you buy elliptical trainers for home use. Now, a lot of people are buying treadmills and stationary bikes, but a lot of the times we're not too sure what to look for in terms of features and the price range. And the consumer report actually goes through what you should be looking for when you're buying an elliptical, what you should avoid, what you don't need, and the price ranges that vary between each model. A lot of information in the report, so definitely check it out, and we'll have the link in our show notes as well.
Very good. And that'll be it for Fit News this week.
On this week's Fit Tip, we're going to talk about leg raises. Now, leg raises is a good exercise for you to train your hip flexors, your abs, and your obliques. It's also a simple exercise that you can do almost anywhere because it doesn't require any equipment and it requires very little space to do. Now we have Vincent here to help demonstrate that today, so thank you, Vincent. So leg raises, okay, first when you start off on the ground, you want to make sure that it's really important that you maintain a neutral back, okay, so you want to maintain a natural curvature of the back, and your hips should always stay in contact with the ground. So when you're doing the leg raise, I'm going to ask Vincent to come up, okay, as you can see, Vincent can maintain his hips on the ground and his spine is in a neutral position. And also speed is really important. You don't want to go too quick. So nice, good, easy tempo over here. If this is too difficult, especially for beginners, you'll find that if your hip flexors are too tight or your abs are too weak, what happens is that you might bring your legs too high, and then what happens is that your hips come off the ground and it causes also that curvature of the low spine, so you're breaking that neutral position. If that is too difficult, what I suggest is to do a single leg raise. So as Vincent is demonstrating here, he's doing a single leg raise. He's keeping one leg on the ground while he's alternating his legs, and at the same time he's maintaining that neutral back and his hips are remaining in contact with the ground. If this is too easy, okay, what you could do is you keep both legs elevated, but you still do a single leg raise. So this actually activates the abs a little bit more, so you might feel it more in your abs, and you get a good core workout out of this. And once you're better at the single leg raise with the leg elevated, you can go to the double leg raise. Another thing you want to avoid is any ballistic movement. Now this is rapid movement of the legs when you do a leg raise. What happens is that the momentum that you cause when you do a rapid ballistic leg raise is, as you can see, Vincent is lifting his hips off the ground, he's lifting his legs too far back, and he's breaking that neutral spine that we want. Also, the movement that you generate causes a lot of momentum, so you don't work out the target area at 100%, so you won't feel an effective workout from doing a rapid ballistic leg raise. Now, if you have any existing injuries, okay, or you have any current injuries, you might want to consult your physician or any health professional before you start an exercise such as the leg raise. So this wraps up this week's Fit Tip, and we will see you next time.
So in today's Infoodmation, I'm going to talk a little bit about pomegranates. So this is a very interesting fruit, seeing as it was mentioned in mythology, but it's very accessible in today's modern world. Normally, you can actually start getting it in August, but it is in season anywhere between October and January. So this fruit is actually picked when it's ripe, so you don't have to worry about by the time you buy it at the store if it's ripe, if it's not ripe, ready for you to eat. Now this fruit is a little bit special because I find it's unlike most other fruits I've eaten. Once you open it, there's a white membranous part that is not so much edible, but the edible part are the little red kernel-like pieces. So these pieces are actually called arils, very sweet and juicy most of the time. And what you do is you can scoop it out, eat it right away. You can sprinkle it onto salads or different types of food for presentation, so it's very pretty. Now this type of food is actually first originated in Western Asia and made its way to California via the Spanish settlers in about 1700. So it's been around for quite a while. So this type of food also very special because it's high in vitamin C and high in 3 different types of antioxidants. So not just one type, but 3. So very powerful, very healthy, and definitely something that we probably should be eating more often. Also very high in fiber, so that's an added bonus for you. So this is a type of food that I hope everyone will have a chance to try. So go out, have it, let me know what you think about it, and we'll see you next time on Infoodmation.
So this wraps up this week's episode of KinFit.
Please check back our show notes for all the important pieces of information we want you to find out about.
And if you have any ideas, suggestions, or questions you want to ask us, just email them to us at info@kinfit.tv.
Big thank you goes out to Vincent for bringing our cameraman and a great model.
Yeah, so we better get out before they kick us out, so remember, don't quit.
Stay fit. Again, very good excuse to eat this tasty fruit. Now, for this fruit, I lost my train of thought and I have no idea what I was going to say afterwards. Man, that sucks. Okay, I'm going to stop there.